Hi students, I just wanted to give you some suggestions on how to prepare for our unit quizzes. First of all, required reading. You are responsible for the information that's within the textbook. But if you're like me, I'm not really good with reading comprehension, and that's a lot of pages and a lot of chapters to read. So I understand if you're not the kind that can just sit down and read word for word everything that's there. But there's other ways that you can get that information from the required reading. So here's how I would suggest that you do that if you're not into reading all of that. First of all, do your study guide. So you have a choice. When it comes to homework, you have a choice of the workbook or the study guide. The study guide is geared toward the test. The study guide has the page number where you're going to find that information. And so this is a great way to start. Do that study guide first. That's going to get you into those chapters. That's going to have you digging through that information that's important so you're reading that material. Then I would suggest that you go to the end of the chapter. So there's multiple chapters that are in each unit. Unit 1 is like chapters 1, 2, 3, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff on there too. So go to the end of chapter 1, and there should be like a chapter review is what it's called. And you'll see in the chapter review, it'll have like a question or something along that line. And then next to that question, it'll say LO1 or LO2 or something like that. Well, LO stands for learning objective. And if you'll look as you go through the reading of that chapter, with each new topic that they talk about, that's learning objective, it has LO and then the number next to it. So that helps you to figure out where in the book that information is. So after you've done your study guide, to further enhance your understanding of the material, go through and do the unit review or the chapter reviews at the end of the chapters, and look those things up in the chapter. Make sure you understand that information. In addition to that, there is the recorded lecture. So the recorded lecture is in D2L. It's labeled that way. I try to keep each recorded lecture under 10 minutes. That way you're not sitting there for a half an hour watching or listening to me talk, okay? It has the PowerPoints that I would use if I were lecturing in class, and then it has my voice kind of lecturing about those PowerPoints. I don't read them off to you, but I talk about things that I think is important. So if you're like me and you're a good auditory learner, it might be helpful just to have that playing in the background while you're washing dishes, multitask, folding laundry, and you can be listening to me lecture about the subject. Okay. A lot of times if there's something really important, I'll say, oh, this is really important to know. You definitely want to know that. So keep that in mind as a possibility of studying and preparing for the test. There is also the lecture handout. So those are the PowerPoint notes, and that is also in D2L. I have also attached different videos that if we were in class, you would be watching these videos either as part of the lecture or as supplementary material, but we would be watching them in class. And they have a lot of really good information, and it helps you to master the subject and have more knowledge about what we're talking about. So take the time to watch those videos, okay? And then the homework, like I said, the students of mine that did best, they did both the workbook and the study guide. But if you were to choose one or the other, I would recommend the study guide because it is definitely geared toward the quiz. Now, only have to turn in one of those to me. It is a credit grade. I'm not going to comb over every word that you send in to me. I'm looking to see, did you do the work? And then you get the credit for it. Okay, so just do one or the other and turn it in. Then the last thing that you can do to prepare for the unit quizzes is to go to where it says quiz review. Usually there's going to be a Kahoot in there. Sometimes there's a Jeopardy game in there or something along that lines. If you've never played Kahoot, it's a fun little quiz game. You can just go right on in, and it's all linked and ready for you to go. So do those, take advantage of that. Sometimes I take stuff right off the test and put it right there in the Kahoot, okay? So it's worth your time to do it. Then the Jeopardy game is also a really great way to go over some of the important topics that we would have been discussing in the classroom setting. I hope that makes that helpful to you. I know that the unit quizzes are online, okay? You will have I believe it's an hour. You have an hour to take your unit quiz. So I know some of you will have your notes out, and some of you may have the book out and look up a question, and I understand that. But the final exam is in person. So keep in mind, whereas if you choose to use your notes and whatever as you go throughout the semester, whatever, that's your choice, okay? But you have to know the material, because if you do not pass the final exam, you fail the class. Failure of the final equals failure of the class. So I think that's important to know. You got to learn the material as you go along. Now, the midterm quizzes, if we're able to be in class, we're going to do those in class. But if not, they're going to be online. So today's are online. And you have the study guide. It's in the content bar to the left of your D2L screen. And so you just get on there, and for quiz 1, it gives you the words. It's the first 4 midterm quizzes are all matching. So that shouldn't be too terribly hard, but it is important information to know. So you're going to get out of this class what you put into the class. And I've given you lots of tools to work with. Also, feel free to reach out to me if there's a concept you struggle with or you don't understand. And I would love to help you to have a better grasp or understanding on that. Okay, great. Thanks so much.